Tim Walz did not see this coming. Check it out.
Is it racist for a government official to identify fraud?
No.
No, but that was the message your administration was sending to multiple whistleblowers.
During a House hearing focused on the massive fraud in Minnesota, Gill pressed the governor with a series of direct questions and eventually cornered him over claims that his administration retaliated against whistleblowers who exposed these schemes. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Governor Walz, are you familiar with the early intensive developmental and behavioral intervention benefit?
I am, Congressman.
Got it. It provides services for autism patients. Is that right?
That is correct.
Got it. And when did you become governor?
In January of 2019.
In 2019. Okay. So using 2018 as a baseline, do you know what that program paid in Medicaid claims?
I do not, Congressman.
It's about $671,000. Do you know what that program paid in Medicaid claims in 2024?
I don't have the number in front of me.
$342 million. That's about a 500x increase over 6 years. Was there 500 times the number of autism patients in that time period?
I couldn't speak specifically to it, but I will say, Congressman, that
doesn't sound reasonable, right? You don't think there was a 500x increase in the number of autism patients in 6 years, right?
Correct, and that's why we ordered on-site visits starting back in 2024.
So we agree that doesn't sound reasonable.
Now, for the governor of a state at the center of unprecedented fraud involving taxpayer money, Walz sure looks unprepared during these hearings. I mean, he generally reacts with the same shock you would expect from someone hearing about the case for the first time, even though the schemes happened under his administration and investigations have been ongoing for years. This particular hearing was focused entirely on those fraud cases, so you would expect him to arrive with clear answers or at least some data showing he has taken the issue seriously. Instead, he repeatedly acted unaware of key details. I'll leave it to you to decide whether that's genuine or by design. Now, let's look at the moment when Brandon started presenting the receipts on whistleblower retaliation.
Let's go there. Is it racist for a government official to identify fraud?
No.
No. Is it Islamophobic?
To identify fraud?
To identify fraud?
No, I don't believe it would be.
How come multiple whistleblowers have said that your administration told them not to say anything about widespread fraud across multiple agencies because doing so would be considered racist or Islamophobic?
I can't speak to it because it's not anything I would say.
Well, that's what your administration has said and has told whistleblowers, and as you just testified, the buck stops with you. Are you familiar with Faye Bernstein?
Yes, I'm familiar with the name.
She's a Democrat, isn't she?
I wouldn't know that.
She's stated publicly that she's a Democrat. She's only voted Democrat in her life. She's also stated publicly that she was retaliated against and called racist, and that her work responsibilities were diminished whenever she was highlighting fraud within your administration. Are you familiar with that?
I couldn't speak to specific allegation.
Why do you think she would say that?
I can't speak for what
you
she
have no
would think.
idea?
I do not.
Faye Bernstein is one of the few whistleblowers whose names are publicly known, and she worked as a, quote, compliance officer at the Minnesota Department of Human Services. In 2019, after helping uncover $29 million in unauthorized payments to 2 Native American tribes, her supervisors, quote, excluded her from meetings, told her to seek therapy, and eventually fired her. Another internal investigation within the same department warned his bosses that daycare centers were involved with fraud and that scams were widespread as early as 2018. Yet those were largely ignored, and he later resigned because nothing was being done. But those are just 2 people of a few dozen whistleblowers who kept their identity secret in fear of retaliation. And Brandon brought their cases up next.
You would agree that the tone in your administration comes from you ultimately, right?
The tone is that.
The tone of how you might deal with whistleblowers.
Right, and we protect them.
Wait, it doesn't sound like you're protecting them. We heard from Representative Kristen Robbins, quote, we have dozens of credible whistleblower reports saying the exact same thing, that people were told not to say anything because they'd be called racist or Islamophobic or it would hurt the state. Do you think it's racist or Islamophobic to highlight and try to stop fraud?
It is not, and I certainly wouldn't
It's
know.
not, but that was the message your administration was sending to multiple whistleblowers.
I can't speak to that.
You can't speak to that. You know, you don't want to speak to that, I think.
I have
Should
over 40,000
whistleblowers be
employees,
retaliated
Congressman.
against?
Pardon me?
Do you think whistleblowers should be retaliated against?
Absolutely not. They have strong protections in Minnesota and lots of paths. And the paths go for the
That's not
OLA.
what we're hearing from whistleblowers. Faye Bernstein, who, again, has stated that she is a Democrat, she's only ever voted Democrat, says that she
doesn't
was
matter whether
subjected
she's
to, quote,
Democrat or
a
Republican.
smear campaign for trying to make leadership aware of illegal contracting practices.
The House Oversight Committee actually interviewed several current and former Minnesota state employees to get a better understanding of what was going on behind the scenes. According to the preliminary report, Walz was not only aware of the fraud, but his administration, quote, spent millions on surveilling staff and hiring private investigators or law firms to silence staff. A former Minnesota DHS commissioner even confirmed, quote, upper management would regularly meet or check in with employees who have reported fraud concerns. That pattern suggests the focus may have been less about stopping the schemes and more about controlling the fallout. In several cases, when red flags were raised, the response appeared directed at the messenger rather than the problem. And all of this information is publicly available, since large portions of those transcribed interviews have already been released.
According to another report, quote, there's just a continuous effort to stifle you, to shut you up, and it's impossible to overcome. Your administration's response to whistleblowers has also been described as, quote, nearly unbearable retaliation. We've heard claims that, quote, they've been denied vacations, promotions, and that it's hurt people's careers to speak out against fraud. Do you think that that had something to do with the prevalence of fraud in your administration?
I can't speak to it, but it
Are you
doesn't
going to take
happen.
responsibility for this?
I supervise 40,000 employees. State agencies
You
have their own
supervise a lot of employees, and as you have said, the buck stops with you. And your administration has treated whistleblowers like absolute dirt, and that's a big reason why we've seen so much of our hard-earned tax dollars defrauded.
Look, Congressman, I told you we have strong protections. We have an Office of
This committee has
Legislative
spoken
Auditor.
to nearly 30 whistleblowers,
And they
most
came
of which
to
are
the-
current employees in your administration who have intimate knowledge of what's been going on, who have all stated that they've faced retaliation for calling out fraud.
See, he definitely doesn't seem willing to take responsibility. He might say the right things in public or announce he's dropping out from future races, as if he stood a chance at re-election after what was uncovered so far. But when he's asked about the details of what actually happened, his answers remain vague. No one expects him to jump into conclusions while investigations are still ongoing. At the same time, someone holding the highest office in the state should at least address a situation directly. I guess we're lucky Walz isn't our VP after all, because by simply looking at everything coming out of Minnesota, one can't help but ask a simple question. How much of this could have been prevented if stronger leadership had been in place from the beginning? Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, keep thinking